Hey guys, Huzzy here. Now, today I'm bringing you a new commentary, and this time I'm playing at Malzahar mid. I've played Malzahar in Season 2, but recently I've picked him up a bit, as, in all honesty, I got wrecked by one in solo queue, and he's quite an easy champion to play. He's a very safe champion to play, especially in solo queue, as you can just dot up the wave, run back fairly close to your tower, still in XP range. You get all the XP. Your dot, when you get a bit of AP, kills everything, and you're fairly safe from jungler gank. So he's an okay champion for winning ranked games with. He there is the saying with him though, is win lane, lose game, which there are a few champions that fall into this, as obviously Malz is a single target nuke champ. His ultimate also can get countered by QSS, that type of thing. But he is a still pretty good champion. He's a strong champion. And if you're a smart Malzahar, at first, sure, you may focus the enemy AD. But when he gets QSS, you should focus, say, the AP carry of the enemy team. Now, you will notice something different. I have got a different ranked 5v5's tag. And this time it is Kirby. We're in the team called Bronze Lord Kirby. We decided just for a bit of fun, as our support cannot play every day of LoL. He can play one day on, one day off. We decided to do a new Rank 5's team and use Kirby just for a bit of laugh. We're not taking these too seriously, but we're still playing to win. Now, we did our 5 promotion matches yesterday, and I purposely, in all 5 of the matches, played different champions, so I could have footage for different champions if I chose to put the commentary up on them. Now, I will say that I'm going to be doing a commentary. Obviously, this is a Malz one. There will be a Z one, and there'll be a Kale one after these, and they'll probably come out in the next couple of days. I'll probably record all of them today, and while I've got them all ready to upload, I'll be working on Common Mistakes episode 3. Now, talking about our team comps a bit, just to go why we chose this comp. Basically, we chose, these are promotion series. Our ELO in this ranked team could be a bit mucked up. Obviously, I'm not entirely sure how the MMR system works in ranked 5s in promotion series, but I do believe you start around 1200 and then work your way up. Where I think my opponent was gold, I'm not entirely sure, but obviously in our ranked 5s team here now, we've got a mixture of 1 platinum, we've got 2 golds, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. So we have actually got quite a lot of range of the ELOs in our team. Now, if we just focus in on the actual lanes, we've got Malzahar versus Anivia. This is just a really farm-intense lane. Nothing much will happen in here until level 6, really. If we go up to top lane, it's Elise versus Singed. This is quite a classic matchup nowadays. You've got an Elise that is a very popular pick, and you've also got Singed, although he got nerfed a little bit, and Elise got nerfed, sorry. They're both still fairly popular. Both are very strong. So this is a fairly even matchup. It's just really on skill level and jungler presence that will determine who should win this lane. Bot lane, we have Ashe Leona versus a Caitlyn Lulu. Now, many people don't realise that Ashe, the AD range of Ashe is actually second highest in the game. Obviously, Tristana overtakes a late game, but in just laning phase, obviously Caitlyn has the most, and then it's Ashe. Obviously, you do have Kog'Maw there, but only when he has W on, so Ashe is actually a pretty good pick against Caitlyn. Especially with level 6, these two comps, quite a lot of CC just for these bot lane. Obviously, a Caitlyn and a Lulu is a poke-heavy comp, but you try and counter that by a little poke of yourself, but a better engage, and they surely have that. Now, top lane, they're just a bit focusing in on a gank, but let's just focus back on mid lane. They get actually quite a lot of damage on me. That was probably my mistake, running into basically an Anivia queue. You never really want to take free damage. Now, the items I started on Malzahar, I started 1 Fairy Charm, 4 health potions, 2 mana potions, 1 ward. A fairly standard start for a mid laner, to be honest. Now, the Malzahar I got beat by in solo queue actually started with a Doran's Ring. And I'm not entirely sure, I am fairly familiar with Malz. He actually got me quite a lot of ELO last season. But he built 4 Doran's Rings. I think that might have been a bit of overkill, but yeah, he did have a lot of lane presence. Top lane, is a fight about to happen. They don't know Shen's here, but I'm pretty sure they know Volibear's there. Going in for the first blood kill, and they pick it up. So really good job by the Shen and the Elise. Now, That was a mistake by Kirby. He thought they could continue to fight, but obviously not. So he manages to get away with his life, and obviously Volibear did burn Flash there. Obviously Kirby did as well, but it's still worth it that he survived. So mid lane, I'm just, kind of pressuring the Anivia quite a bit. Putting dot on her every now and then. Right now, I was actually trying to get the Ignite on as well to burn her egg, and probably be able to kill her under her own tower by putting W underneath her and putting Q every time I can. It would probably be able to kill her. I can't remember if I'm actually able to do this, but yeah. Now, people say, like, what champions do you actually want to play in mid? If you're playing in ranked 5s, or if you're playing in, solo queue. Now, the reason I played Malz this game, basically, it was a dare as such. Galzuk wanted me to play Malzahar as kind of a joke type thing. Flash over the Q, which is an okay. Obviously, Volibear burns his own Q, which is his flip, quite early. So I managed to flash escape, which is not a bad move by myself. Obviously, I am a bit vulnerable right now to a Volibear gank, so I think I decide to go back. But yeah, Malzahar's a pretty good champion. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend jungling him as Snoopy did in LCS a few weeks back. I do believe he's a better mid laner. But as I said, he is really intense on single target damage. Now, his AoE is not bad, don't get me wrong. If you have, say, a Jarvan on your team and he cataclysms and you put a W underneath everybody, then, yeah, you're going to do okay. Going on bot lane. And unsuccessful to get any kills, which it was a bit bad. They should have focused one target. If they all focused the Lulu, that Lulu would have been dead. Or the Caitlyn actually flashed She flashed in a weird position. She flashed as the Shen taunted, I believe, which enabled her to actually kind of get away. Now, the item I picked up, I've decided to be, is Chalice, just a bit of mana regen, bit of magic resist, just an overall okay item. I don't actually think I build it into anything. I think I just leave it there for a while anyway. I might build it into Athene's later on. I'm not completely sure. We'll see how what happens when the game progresses. So yeah, just keep on farming mid. If we look at the CS, I'm ahead of the Anivia by 10. Now, Malz is a champion that early on you probably will miss not a fair bit of CS because you all should be last hitting, but you'll probably miss a little bit of CS. I find the Anivia in the bush. I don't manage to get my W on her. That was a bad mistake on my part. Always try and get your W underneath. I nearly burn her whole health. Then we find a Volibear, but obviously I don't have any spells at this point, and we don't know the Singed is here. So that's actually a bad lack of communication from top lane, as I believe there wasn't a SS, but yeah. I think he manages to get out. I'm not entirely sure though. And right now, yeah, we are calling to Elise to come, but I don't know if he has headset on or something. So yeah. Communication problems. I'm just gonna close the chat, as it always can be a bit of a distraction. Now this is a fair chunk of CS I'm missing. Obviously, this Anivia, or I did die, or whoever killed me, they did kill me, which is a bonus. But they are also gaining a bonus from me not taking this CS, and with that I'm not having XP. Obviously, yeah, I'm still ahead of the Anivia in CS, but I could be even more ahead if I didn't die at that stage. Now, I believe the first item I buy is Leandre's Torment, which is a really good item on Malzahar. Any dot champion, well, any AP mid, it's actually pretty damn good on, as it does health damage, and with the current meta, everybody building health, it's a pretty good item. So yeah, and especially on Malz, you know, you've got so many dots on him. You've got your E, you have Ignite if you use it, and then you've got Leandre's when you get that. So a lot of dots, people's health will be just burning all the way down. So at this point, the Anivia is quite weak, but she still has egg up, I believe. Yeah, she still has egg. I haven't managed to burn the egg, so, you know, if she didn't have egg, I would actually consider probably diving her with my ultimate, because I believe it's up. Yeah, it is up. So Volibear is stealing our red, and we have no idea he was doing this. The Shen is just coming over and just realizes. So at this stage of the game, we are a little bit ahead, as I believe our CS in general is better. If we look at all the CS in the game, we have... is everything lined up? Let's try and line all this up. So... there you go, everything's lined up now. So their Lulu's a bit ahead on CS, but that doesn't really matter. Our Shen's ahead on CS and has a kill over the Volibear. AD carries, fairly even on CS. Our Ashe is just ahead, so pretty good going by our Ashe. Obviously, a Caitlyn. If you're not ahead on CS on a Caitlyn, then you're either doing something wrong or your lane opponent is very good, as you always should be a little bit ahead of your lane opponent in CS. Mid lane, I'm ahead by 20 now than the Anivia, which is pretty good. Obviously, she does have a kill and an assist, where I only have an assist. So the gold will be more even than probably it would appear. Top lane, Elise is ahead by 13, and both have one kill, but the Singed has an assist. So as for synergy of this team, our team does not have a huge amount of synergy, as we don't really have someone that will literally jump into the middle of their team to get a kill. You might have the Leona to go in, but you don't really want to channel a Leona. So picking up a kill on the Volibear, always a nice thing to do. Now I have double buffs myself. Now the Singe, is fairly low, which I know, and also our Shen is, and the Anivia goes down. And you can see Eben just picked up, or the Elise, just picked up the Singe. Pretty good going by him with using that E of Elise's spider form. And I pick up the Anivia. So pretty good trade by us. We get 3 of them for none of us. So always a good thing. Bot lane is being pushed to tower, which is to be expected. Now the Caitlyn does have red here. Obviously Ashe just missed arrow, which is unfortunate. Shen ults in, but then gets knocked by Lulu. Hits a really good taunt, so well played by Kirby, the Shen. Picks up the Ashe. It would have been good if Ashe got that kill, as it was red buff, but you know, in ranked 5s you should be less focused on who gets the kills and more focused on the collective gold of the team. Obviously if you're in solo queue and you're playing AD carry, trying to get all the kills, as you know, you're the one going to be carrying the game and you trust yourself to do well. Pick up a free dragon, which is always a nice thing to do. So right now it is 12 minutes 35 and we're 4,000 odd gold ahead, maybe just under that. So game's going fairly well at this point. Obviously that was quite a big turning point for us, killing them 3 full no deaths and them guys getting the Caitlyn bottom. Now, as I was saying, Malzahar is a fairly good champion. He does a lot of single nuke, as I've mentioned, and well, he basically forces, mainly the AD carriers. That's the main target you should be going for as a Malzahar. You force them to get an item where they normally won't as a QSS, as the Scimitar, which is the QSS plus a BF sword, is a really, really expensive item for what it gives you. It only gives like 70 AD and it gives like 50 or 40 magic resist, and it costs like the same as a BF sword or thereabouts. So it really is not a cost-effective item. If you really do need a QSS, then buy the QSS whenever you feel you need it, but do not build it into the Scimitar until your last item, as it is one of the least cost-effective items in the game. Just farming a bit more on Malz. Now this is the stage where my dot is starting to actually do a lot of damage. To see how much gold I have going back. I've got 2,500 gold, which is a lot of gold. Maybe I shouldn't have kept that long, but okay. There's the reason why I kind of stayed with 2,500 gold in my inventory, to pick up straight away the Liandry's Torment. So my damage will probably go up somewhat, considering that item gives me another dot, gives me more AP, and gives me Magic Pen. Now the Shen's rather deep here, but manages to get away, distracts them a little bit, and actually gets the Nivea to around half health. I don't know how high she was before. Bottom lane, there's some action going on. The Leona picks up the Lulu, which is always good to kill, any of them in lane. And here, the Ashe picks up the Caitlyn, which is great. So they get a 2-for-0 trade in bot lane, which is always good. It gives you free farm, and obviously denies them any CS or XP, so you just get more ahead. Now, as for how good are these champions late game, as a lot of people forget to kind of a lot of people focus laning phase more so than late game. If you have a late game orientated team, sure you don't want to lose lane phase, but it's an okay thing as your team strength is the late game. Now our team strength is relatively late game. Our Ashe will scale really well when she gets an Infinity Edge. Leona gets incredibly tanky late game. Shen gets incredibly tanky late game. Late game Malzahar, he can one-shot things at late game. Sorry, I'm saying late game a lot because that's the topic. But yeah, he can really burst someone down with his ult. Even if they QSS the ultimate, if they do build QSS, the ultimate will stay on them, just the suppression is gone. Elise is rather overextended. Does pick up the Singed, but I'm not sure if she gets away. Shen ultimate coming down to try and save her. Picks up the taunt, but yeah. And Nivea does burn flash. That is a notable thing. She burns flash to try and pick up the Elise, where Volibear gets it. And then the Volibear gets the second kill, so that's semi-good. Lulu has wandered into my mitts, and I managed to full combo her into a kill. So now this has actually given us free pressure on this tower. Now these two towers are arguably the most important in the game. Obviously, sure, there are the Nexus towers, but I'm talking about lane towers. They are arguably the most important as it gives you complete control of their jungle. You can walk in any entrance, and if they don't have a ward here, they won't have vision. We're trying to pick up the Singed. We thought we could get him, and no. So low. 11 or 13 health it was, so unlucky for us. One more tick of my dot would have done, and unfortunately we don't get it. Now their red buff's up, and I think, yeah, I remember this moment. It's quite a funny moment. So the Caitlyn's here waiting. Obviously they have this warded, so they know the health of the red buff. She's actually trying to steal, Q's it, and bam, she gets the red buff. So good steal by the enemy Caitlyn. We had no idea that they were there, so well played. At least chasing the Volibear. Obviously, she's quite strong at this current point, having a Haunting Guise, Giant Spell, and Blasting Wand with Sork Boots. She has a lot of Magic Pen and quite a lot of damage. Obviously, she also scales up from health, so having these two items is a really good pickup on her. Now, Ashe has just picked up IE, which is always a nice thing to do. It gives her, you know, a lot more damage on Ashe, more so than more champions. Now, arguably, IE on a Caitlyn is incredibly strong. Now, there's one thing to note, I will disagree with this Caitlyn's build, that she's building a Cutlass, which is never a really good thing to do as a Caitlyn, as generally, you should never be in the range to use Blade on someone. She has the highest range AD in the game, so really there is no need to be up close and personal like a Draven has to be, or that type of thing. Saying that a Draven doesn't really build Blade anyway, but yeah. Now they're stacking up here. Bam, Shen lands, taunts 3 of them. It's unlucky that I get morphed into a cupcake or something as they get taunted. Pick up the Singed, but yeah, really good taunt by Shen. It's just, as I said, unfortunate that I get CC'd, as if I had my W when they all got taunted and Q, that would have done a lot of damage to them. As you can see, the Elise does a lot of damage, chunked that Volibear, and their Volibear is supposed to be their tank. So if he's not very tanky, they're really in trouble. And yeah, she's just bursting him down, not really, like, just poking occasionally. So they're in a bit of trouble there if their Volibear isn't strong. Pressuring the second top tower. And the Anivia's going to come over and try and cover, I believe. Now, this Anivia, it's nearly 90 minutes, and she hasn't got Rod of Ages yet. If we look how much gold she hasn't even got enough to buy it yet. Now, when you're building Rod of Ages, you should generally try and get it around the 15 to 18 minute mark, as that will make it pretty damn cost effective by the time that team fights occur, because you'll have the bonus stacks from the health, the mana, and the AP. But yeah, she's building quite a late Rod of Ages. Obviously, yeah, sure, building the tier, and she has got it to 408. Anivia obviously is a very mana-intense champion. Now, my build, if we just focus in on Malzahar a bit, I've got my Leandries, I've got my Sorcerer Boots, I've got still Chalice of Harmony, as I said at the beginning. I don't think I build this into anything. I've got a Blasting Wand. I don't really remember what I build the Blasting Wand into. It may be a Death Cap, if the game goes that long. Now, they have this warded, and I have no idea they have this warded. See, my damage is just insane. That was without ult and anything. She ults herself. Don't know why. I don't think she was going to die, but then there's a lot of them. Now, I should have gone this way. This was a really bad mistake. My Leona was, to be fair to the Leona, she was calling, go right, but I thought the Singe was coming around to the right as I had no vision in lane. But yeah, pretty bad move on my part, which I will always recognise mistakes, as that's the only way you can improve, is recognise your own mistakes. So yeah, pretty decent game. I've gone 5-2-1 so far with, I think, the third highest CS in overall the game. I would probably say my CS should be higher at this point. I haven't done amazing in CS. I should be around the Ashes level right now. But obviously, as early game Malz, you do miss a little bit of CS if you are relying on your dot to last hit for you. 3 of them roaming bot lane, looking to go for this tower relatively soon. Now I'm running back into lane. I pick up my amplifying tome. Oh, I remember what I build this into. I build it into a void staff, as magic pen on a Malzahar is pretty damn good. And I think relatively soon these guys should be starting to build magic resist. If they don't, then I'll just wreck them, and if they do, I'll have the magic pen to make it basically non-existent. At least trying to get away from these two, but yeah, it's not going to happen. But with them, she had 3 up there. She had the Singe that she killed and 2 others, so that's left their whole bot lane, vulnerable. And I think that's the surrender vote. Yeah, there we go. Surrender vote in. Pretty good game overall. Ash did very well in this game. I did pretty good in this game. Went 5-2-1. Items, that's the kind of item build I go on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys found it quite useful. Learned something new maybe on Malz. See the kind of playstyle I play on Malz. I play him quite passively in mid. Although I'm quite an aggressive mid laner, he is one of the champions that I do play quite passively until level 6. Now, I will quickly say, next couple of days there's going to be gameplays coming out every day. But I did actually want to ask you guys a question. If you guys have managed to go to right to the end of the video, well, thank you very much. But the question is, would you guys be interested in seeing 3v3 footage? As me and 2 friends, which are in this game, Galzuk, who is playing support this game, who is normally the jungler of our main ranked team, and Ebon Lord, who is the top laner, we have recently started a 3v3s team. And it's been going okay. We're not very familiar with 3v3s, but we're starting to learn. And we've played people from different, ratings. We've played people from bronze, we've played silver, and we've even played challengers. Which I do believe we did lose that game, as you'd probably expect. But it was a pretty good game. It was a big learning curve for us, and they actually gave us some tips for 3v3s, which was always nice. But yeah, that's just a question. Would you guys be interested in 3v3 footage? If so, please say so. And as always, keep playing League of Legends.